Hello, everyone. It's Todd standing here. For those of you who are about to join me, thank you very much. I'm just going to wait for a few people to come online here. Maybe give me a couple likes. I'm going to try to just do the chat today. So, anybody wants to start asking some questions, make sure I click all messages are available. And I see people. So, today it's all about the people here. Kyla, Danny, hey, everybody. Um, Sorry I wasn't able to schedule it. Just crazy, crazy time for me right now, to say the least. Oh my goodness! But I always have so much fun with the live stream, and I know I'm tardy, but believe me, I was doing my best to get on as quickly as I can. Um, my website is down. Hey, Rebecca, Billy, Jeremy, awesome. Thank you all for being here. Uh, this life is just crazy right now, and it happens to everybody. So I'm, of course, no exception. Um, Yeah, it's my son's birthday next week, so I'll do this episode for my little boy who I love so much. I say happy birthday to him. And hey, from Calgary. Wow, it's cold out here, huh? My gosh, freezing. Um, where do I send a message if I have some video of tracks uh, in the Mogwai Riverbed about 30 miles south of Big Bear? South of Big Bear. So that's in, yeah, that's like in the area where Claudia Ackley saw. That's awesome. That's in California. That's from Stair and Ronnie. If you have evidence of a Sasquatch or um, you've had a sighting or anything, there's the Gmail account. It's bigfootencounter@gmail.com. Go there. Danny was wondering if the Sasquatches have culture. I haven't been awake for live streams. That's late, yeah, and I've been lucky to search last week. Yeah, culture. Hmm. Oh my God. You guys always just annihilate me with these amazing questions. Sasquatch are sentient beings, so they have culture. Yes. Hello from Australia. You with your Yowies. Um, I don't. It's so obvious to me. I've seen humor. I've seen the structures are impressive. There's so much more to learn about this species, and there's stuff that uh, there's a few things that are really I'm saving for court that I really want to shock the world. But I'll tell you this much for sure. Do they have culture? Well, there will never be an argument about Sasquatch being in zoos the way they have the way we have gorillas and chimpanzees and orangutans. That's the big primate question. Are they sentient enough to withstand? Is it unethical for primates like chimpanzees, gorillas, and orangutans to be in zoos? And the answer to that question for them is no, they're not sentient, according to what science has, because that would be slavery. But the Sasquatch definitively meet that criteria, and they are sentient. We can't put them in zoos. Evidence. There's plenty of evidence. There's too much evidence. I want to see one live in a cage capture these monsters. Yeah, they um I don't. You just. This is just such a. You got to go. There's a video of mine on called "To Kill or to Not to Kill a Bigfoot." You need to go watch that if you think you want to put one in a cage or you're going to try um, to shoot or harm one. It's just not going to happen. I talked about it a lot. Do you ever feel they're trying to harm you? I tell you, I feel there have been some Sasquatch that are very angry and that were harming me just to warn me. I just, when you're dealing with Sasquatch, they're so powerful, they're so fast, they're such a dominating species. When they harm you a little bit, um, it hurts. They have to be very gentle not to kill you. We're very fragile, comparatively speaking. I can't even imagine how Sasquatch or gorillas, just as an example, how they play with each other, how they throw each other around and beat each other up in ways that would just tear a human being apart. And the Sasquatch are no exception to that. So, but when they've squeezed me or tried to hurt me, they're hurting me very gently. Is the only way I would explain it. I know it's a crazy thing to say, but they're just warning me that they don't want me there. If Sasquatch ever want me gone, I'm gone. No one's gonna find my body, and I'll just disappear forever. So, yeah. So you guys can't hit me with too many hard questions today, because boy, you guys are good. If I have a contest to win a chance to witness a Bigfoot, actually, Jeff, what I'm doing. Jeff said, "Will you ever do a contest for a chance to witness a Bigfoot?" Well, anybody who makes donations to me, you can't really do that right now because my website is down. Um, But I guess you can go to Patreon right now. Patreon is still functioning, but the whole website is down right now. It's just I can't even imagine how crazy things are. So crazy for me right now. But yeah, people that get on board, what I'm doing for the monthly donators is somebody will win a trip out, an all expenses paid trip out to come out and see a Sasquatch with me with an expedition on expedition. So yeah, that is a possibility. So, and I'm gonna make like a big, like spitting thing like a lotto and throw people's names in it and pull that out. So and I needed 200 people to join my cooperation, and that's happening. So I just have to do the work, and believe me, I will. My grandparents took me camping out in Harrison Hot Springs, BC, and they say they Bigfoot and yeah, Harrison Hot Springs. Oh my God, there's Sasquatch in Harrison Hot Springs. Sorry, I didn't catch the name of the person who asked that question. But yeah, there's Sasquatch in Harrison Hot Springs. But you know, when I go into an area, the tone is set by the big male, and he was just like violent and hostile. And a person that was out there told me like his horse got killed when the Sasquatch was angry. So yeah, the Harrison Hot Spring, the male dominating male that I was out there with was really scary. We seen a family, or what do you call them, a group. They're not scary. Never say that never. Yeah, I think they're pretty scary. I'm scared when I'm around whales, you know, and I know they're not dangerous. And I find them to be very dominating, like primates. So, but you can get them in different moods too, right? Go up and see gorillas, and some people are really really special the way they can interact with primates and really have no fear. I'm very aware of what they're capable of, and I always feel exhilarated and fearful to some extent, I think. Well, not always, but yeah. What happened to your unmarked helicopter experience in Nordegg? That's a good question. I don't. What happened? It's all. Thank you very much for the donation, Matthew. Uh, Thanks for the love, and that's awesome, fantastic, sir. Yeah, I don't really know what happened with the helicopter. Did somebody? The movie was debunked. It was you in a Bigfoot suit. That's funny. No, it wasn't. But yeah, it was a hot. My Nordegg was a real hot spot. It became a little less hot, and so I don't know what happened. It's just a theory that Survivor Man talked about because you don't know. Like I heard a helicopter come in and land, and then I heard like a firefight. So was the missing hiker found? No, the missing hiker was not found. Thanks for asking, Sandy. Hey, I'll talk about that for a second. I don't know if I'm going to put that in my video. I went out and search and rescue. Boy, that was crazy. The search and rescue. See, I went out to do. Another person's asking. I went out to use the animals in the land to find this person, and what I found was the animals were going bat crap crazy. It was nuts. Helicopters over, search and rescue. Search and rescue are pushing the animals out of their natural spot, and they're overlapping with other animals. And then up on that hill, the reason the cowboy was up there looking, riding around likely is because there's cattle up there. He's a cowboy. He's looking for cattle. There were cattle up there, for God's sake. And dead cattle there were. And then I was looking for horses that weren't shoed. I heard the cowboy's horse had corked shoes. And then I was looking for cork shoes. And then there were wild horses. And I don't know. I was trying to read the terrain and animals as I know it. And the animals were just were in serious distress because there are people driving quads and hiking and helicopters. The animals were in immense distress. It was really chaos. And for me to do search and rescue the way I would do search and rescue, by using the animals to read the land and to read how they've reacted to somebody that might be there, is going to take more time and experience for me. I don't know of anybody that does it like that. Search and rescue does it in a very different way, very science-based, very search theory based. And I would never do it like that. I would use the animals to find how they're reacting, how they're moving in their tracks, and in the biology, because there would be a resistance, there would be reaction to a human being there, whether it's a predator circling, birds in the air, or the deer not going into an area they normally go into. So, and it was a really, what it taught me is, for God's sake, people, if you go out, there's really no excuse not to have some kind of tracking device, especially when you go out alone. And there I was out alone, doing this search and rescue thing. Big shout out to all the natives, that the native people that set me off. I was deeply moved. They did a ceremony and a song for me before I went up looking for the man, but the man was not found. And it's been extremely cold up there, so I don't really. There's a family involved, and but it's a really heartbreaking thing. Even uh, to say I was out there at a point when I realized how bad it's been, how cold and how harsh the environment is. When you're looking around and you could potentially be looking for a body, it's a pretty hard thing to do. So it kind of changes your energy. It's scary. I've found bodies before. It's pretty horrible, and you know, so but I went out there and gave it a shot, and yeah. So that's all I have to say about that. It's really hard search and rescue and stuff. But my father has killed every North American animal on this planet, and he's never seen a Bigfoot, and he's got them all mounted. Yeah, James. I mean, some of the best hunters, haven't seen a Bigfoot. But James, you're really dealing with nothing like nothing like we've ever had in recorded history. That's why this discovery is so incredible and amazing. There is no giant intelligent primate that tracks, that lives in cold, in the force of a forest like North America, temperate climates. Primates only live in tropical forests. So Sasquatch is just a whole other genre. And, your father there's no hunter that ever was at the level of the Native Americans, like the Apache and the Cree that I know and study. And the Apache and the Cree that, you talk about it, old day great hunter is here. I'd say, a modern day hunter, let's just say he's here. No one's going to argue the old Apaches are up here, and those old Apaches and Crees and all these incredible native trackers are going to tell you the Sasquatch are up there. So I'm not trying to be disrespectful to hunters, but when you live and are born and you raised and you die, know everything about the wilderness, it's such an immense advantage. A hunter to sneak up on a Sasquatch, you have to beat the squirrels, you have to beat the birds, you have to beat the deer, because Sasquatch read in the biology how things are moving, and they know something's out there based on that alone. Never mind the fact that people drive up. What hunter goes on a 24-hour expedition and spends the night and then shoots a deer? They don't, because then you have to pull it out. So there's really things about hunters that, they're amazing, and I respect them and I learn a lot from hunters, but they don't go backcountry into remote areas like the Sasquatch live. I'm not going around saying Bigfoot's real, like grizzly bears are real, Kodiak grizzlies. There's some bad sons of bitches out there. Yeah, Kodiak grizzlies are big. It's really big. Can Sasquatch take Kodiak grizzly? Sasquatch, from what I've seen with bears, have like a grizzly bear jujitsu. I don't know how else to explain it. They just know exactly how to hold them, how to move with them, how to handle them. So, and I think it's quite clear to me in the biology that grizzly bears and black bears are afraid of Sasquatch. They're individual beings, and if you take on a Sasquatch, you're going to take on a troop or a group or a tribe. People asked me just a minute ago, what do I refer to a group of Sasquatch as? Well, I think troop is respectful, because you have troop of chimpanzees, troop of gorillas. So, or maybe it's more respectable to say they're a tribe. I'm okay with that. We're just working on the vernaculum for this discovery. It is a discovery, so it's all respectful. Maybe a tribe of them is really respectful, but I do say troop when I talk about primatologists. When I talk to primatologists, Sasquatch frequents Cascades in Lane County, Oregon. Many experiences here. Yeah, oh man, Oregon's so beautiful. Yeah, Sasquatch makes bears their pitch. It's true. Even I'll go into, like when I'm driving into my research areas, you'll see bears all over the place. Tons of signs of bears. But when you get to Sasquatch habitat, the bears go around, or they come through quickly, and there's a good reason for that. I warn people about the realities of bears and mountain lions. But the truth is, when you're in really good Sasquatch habitat, I've noted in the biology, I see a 90% reduction in them. That's crazy. That's because bears they'll smell a Sasquatch and they're just afraid. Bears know Sasquatch are real, like the Native Americans know Sasquatch are real. Like I know Sasquatch are real. So if there was some way we could shove probes in a bear's mind and communicate with it, bears would be like, yeah, they're real. It's just no different than going to a reserve. Gosh, I was just on the search for the missing man in Merritt, the missing cowboy man. Cowboy in Merritt is what the story is called. I met with the natives, and they're going, well, yeah, Bigfoot are real. They have all these stories and stuff. It's so amazing to deal with. It's like every tribe of Native Americans or First Nations people I go meet with, they just know it's real. They just accept it. They'll tell you, don't mess with them. They have rules for Sasquatch, like they have rules for bear. Oh, there's a Sasquatch around. Everybody do this. Everybody react in this way. So it blows my mind because you go into civilized culture and it's all shunned, and people think you're weird a little bit when you talk about Sasquatch, or they're intrigued. I don't know. Either way, it doesn't matter to me. I risk my life for this. This is a reality of what I do. So, did you hear about the runner that choked out a mountain lion? What? Runner choked out a mountain lion? Man, that would be crazy. No, I didn't hear about that. I question that. Oof. Mountain lions are built really funny, and they're so fast to latch onto a mountain lion and choke it. Yeah. I love wilderness questions. Hey, Todd, cooperation member. Hey, Sasquatch Research Group. How long do you think Sasquatch lifespan is? I think it's just 40 years based on the dentition, maybe 50. And that's really just based on primates. That's, human beings used to live only approximately that long, right? 40 years or so. So that's what I think. Just my theory. And I've talked about this before, I think. So, yeah. See if I get that. What do you think? He goes out there himself, pays thousands of dollars for someone to hunt these animals, take them out. Sorry, I kind of missed that one. I do. Expeditions are really expensive. My research is very expensive. When am I going to court? I'm all in. It's Lorene. Oh man, whew. Yeah, I can't wait to get back to court. I'm just working on stuff, so I need to make sure money and stuff is in order, and I'm ready for it. $20,000+ on the last year on court cases and stuff. It was really hard on me financially, and what's important to me, and I'll be back, and I'll be much better next time. You'll see. Like that was just me warming up and learning. So, Todd, does the Forest Service have a cover-up campaign to keep public from knowing how many people are disappearing in national park land? Well, I don't know about people disappearing in national park land. I'll tell you, this is something I learned about the court case. You talk about a cover-up. This is so important. You have to deduce things based on information you're given. All these years, when I go talk to Fish and Wildlife in Montana, Fish and Wildlife in Oregon, California, Alberta, BC, they all go no comment. And I go, it's weird. Why would you all say no comment? They don't say Sasquatch isn't real. And I know why now, because if they say Sasquatch isn't real, I can sue them. If they say the species doesn't exist or can't exist, and I say they do, now we can go to court. If they say no comment, they're untouchable. Do you understand the significance of that? They all say no comment. If any one of them said Sasquatch are not real and Todd Standing is a liar, now they're liable and I can sue them. But they won't say that. None of them. I'm talking like I've been to 4 American states and 2 Canadian provinces, and they're all talking the same story. No comment, no comment, no comment. Where were the lawyers' comments in my trial here in British Columbia? And I call Fish and Wildlife, you talk to them, they all go, no comment, no comment, no comment. That's because it is a cover up. It has to be. You think one of them would go, this guy's crazy and they don't exist? I could sue him if he did that. They've been preparing for this in ways. So, yeah, there is a cover up. I don't like saying it because my friend and mentor, John Bennernagel, said, you don't take something paranormal and turn it into a conspiracy, you lose credibility. And I agree. I don't want this to be more paranormal. I'm offended by the fact that this is a paranormal discovery. Really, I am offended by that. The species exists and the discovery must move forward. But there is definitively a cover-up for this, and I'm not even going to apologize for it. So I don't want to be more controversial. I don't. I want to be, my challenge is don't take my word for it. Come out with me and I'll show you a Sasquatch. And that's what's happening. That's what I'm doing. And there is a cover-up, though. It's not cool. And David Pilates and the work he does seems very legit to me. So he's just trying to make money, fraud. Nick, man. I gave up my career. I gave up my house. You want to look at my bank account? Trying to make money. You don't come into this to make money. I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in the documentary. Every time you watch the documentary, you can thank me because I literally paid for you to watch it. So there's no money in this. And if money ever came to me in this, if I did get a TV show deal, if I did get a big movie deal, and there was a lot of money, you know what you're going to see? You're going to see a research center pop out. And even with the donations that I'm getting, a research center is coming up. I don't mind critics. I don't, there's skeptics. Obviously, a lot of skeptics because this is not accepted. But I don't fear talking to anybody. You can ask me any question. Ask me anything. Because you know what, Nick? You know what? Anybody else who questions me, I took people out and showed them a Sasquatch. What you see in my documentary is real. If you don't believe it, come out with me and I'll show you a Sasquatch. Pay for an expedition. That's fair. I'm not paying for everybody to come on an expedition. You pay your way. And be skeptical. It's happened. I've taken skeptics out, and I've changed them. I have like a 90% return rate for people that come on expedition with me. Those are high numbers. And I'll tell you, it's almost like 50% of them are just friends of mine. I love these people that come on expedition. When you go out and you learn, and you learn to trust, and you bleed with one another, you work and you fight for the expeditioners learn how brutal and how hard it is. It's so tough. These expeditions are brutal, man. Dangerous and brutal and harsh. When you realize that, even people that have come out on expedition and not seen a Sasquatch, live interacted, because my live interaction numbers are huge. A Sasquatch comes around, it's pretty impressive how often I get live interactions for good reason. But, they'll come back and go, okay, there's pretty impressive signs, but they'll come back and they all come back and go, holy God, it's hard. It's dangerous. It's hard. And wow, I'm an amputee. Could I make it on expedition? You know what, Jim? You know what I'm doing now is I have electric bikes. I found ways where most everybody can come out, where you can ride around on an electric bike. I'm finding ways where it could just, you don't have to be fit backcountry badass to do this kind of stuff. And with Jeff Meldrum, did really good, and he's not he's tough and everything, and but he did really good, and I'm trying to make the expeditions much more agreeable to most people. And I would like it where an amputee could come out, and so we're working on that kind of stuff. I am working on that kind of stuff, and I found solutions to that. And this year I believe I'll be taking out a lot more people that are just have a whole new thing I'm doing, and I've changed a lot, new areas where the Sasquatch have moved into. And so there'll be people that, like, hey, Stone Mason, there'll be people that go deep and go backcountry and do some crazy stuff and take big risks. Because I do work with Army Rangers and Special Forces firefighters, tough dudes, like really tough dudes. So, oh man, tough dudes, some really tough backcountry people that I cooperate with. And they want to go backcountry. They want to take some big risks. So it's hard for me, though. I'm not taking the second time or third time expeditioners that have come out that many times that have become my close friends are going to do some tough stuff next year, even maybe alone, send them off alone into an area and let them see what happens. So some really awesome stuff is going to happen next year with close friends of mine. And I'm scared because it's so dangerous. We're going to take precautions and stuff. I just don't want anybody to get hurt. If somebody got hurt, screw the contracts and legal stuff. It would kill me. So I'm not good at hey, Velocity 800, say hi to me on air. There you go. Said hi to you on air. Thanks for chiming in. But yeah, people's safety is immensely important to me. But some dudes are just so tough. Some dudes, Survivor Man didn't see a Sasquatch, but he live interacted with one in every episode, and we found significant signs. Just watch the episodes of Survivor Man. They're pretty amazing. Survivor Man is so tough. So I left Survivor Man alone out in those mountains. He's as tough as it gets, and it doesn't take any time. You go and work with Survivor Man in the field, and it takes one to know one a little bit. I hate to say something like that, but he's tough as hell. He can backcountry survive. He is so tough. So can the Bigfoot affect you mentally? One guy says in a Bigfoot in Colorado zapped him and made him forget stuff. Well, I don't know about forget stuff, but the infrasound affects your equilibrium and knocks you off balance. And maybe at higher levels, it would stun your whole system. So there's really a lot to learn. And infrasound is no paranormal thing. A gorilla hit me with infrasound in a zoo behind the scenes where he had access to me through bars. So that's right, Mid-South Sasquatch. It's called infrasound. There's so little information online about infrasound. I should do a video on it. But How'd the apple disappear? Um, Apples don't disappear. Sasquatch or an animal takes them. When's my next movie coming out? I don't know. There'll be a next movie. It was so hard with this last movie, but the likelihood of a new movie coming out is pretty significant because of the donators and because of my cooperation growing. What if I had 1,000 people making monthly donations to me? From like $5 to $20 a month in donations. Uh, you know, that's a lot, and research will really move forward then, and that's really a goal. So and I have so much support. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Oh my God, the support I'm getting, talking to people. I'm doing now, instead of the big networks, instead of the big movie deals, I just working with. I'm a little guy, so I'm working with little guys. I'm talking to people that are fans and want to help out. And thanks, Kyla. I love my documentary too. I'm really proud of it. So I'm just talking to little people, and I've been set back from some horrific family issues over the last couple weeks, and I got some really hard uphill battles to go through. But any gifts from Bigfoot? Yes. But anyways, I'm still. Please be patient with me. I've never been having a more difficult time. I'm going through like a horrible family disaster right now. But I love you guys, man. Grassroots is the best way to build it out there. I couldn't agree with you more. Dealing with these big networks, they'll blow sunshine up your butt, and it's really bad. They're going to get this done. I've been in the 11th hour, and it's just like with these people, they're so wishy-washy. And now that I'm talking to real live people, love you guys too, Layla. Just real people. It's been such a pleasure. So yeah, and we'll see how it grows and stuff. I'm really about cooperating. I need help and getting lots of it. So thanks for the hearts. Colleen Blackwater, I'm sorry. Family issues. Thank you. How much to go on expedition? Actually, yeah, I'd say go to the expedition page on my website, but it's not up. Sylvanek.com will be up again soon, I hope. I got so much going on. What happened when you filmed the devil Bigfoot? I went up there and got beat up. There you go. There's another tough question. B Tiller 44. You want to know? I went up there and they beat my ass up, smacked me around, and it was crazy. So I'm still waiting for evidence, Todd. You find any? Well, Chris, I show people Sasquatch. I have tracks. I have tree breaks. I live interact with Sasquatch. I have DNA. I show people Sasquatch, Chris. What other evidence you have? There's no point in me even trying to cast tracks. They're tracks with dermal ridges that I'll use as evidence from Jeff Meldrum that are so significant and so amazing. Tracks of a Sasquatch from thank you very much, Ghost Mode. Awesome. Thank you so much for the donation. Really appreciate it. There's Sasquatch that were cast from one individual. Let's say an individual, we'll call him Buddy. And Buddy, 10 years later, was cast with dermal ridges, and then the dermal ridges have new cuts and breaks in them, and they heal in a specific way. So, I don't know, like the evidence is so overwhelming. What about eyewitness testimony? Does that matter? I talk to people about eyewitness testimony so much, and the evidence is freaking overwhelming. That's why I wanted to go to court with this. I will destroy Fish and Wildlife in court. I will destroy them. Their only mandate is to not let this go to trial. That was it. That's all they can think about. So anywhere I go, Fish and Wildlife will do everything in a court of law, man. It's hard to get to trial, especially on an issue like this. But that's their mandate. No trial. They know in trial they'll get destroyed. So they fight and they do everything they can, and they played hardball. I respect that. They weren't playing games, man. They annihilated me to not go to court. Because remember, I went to push this to go to trial, and they kept this out of trial. And the way they did it was very smart. Very, they played the game. If you don't hate the player, hate the game. The lawyer from Fish and Wildlife came and shook my hand. He says, "I'm a huge fan." We're not going to court, sir. He did this for a living. This is his job. He's an axe murdering attorney that lives in the Supreme Court, and I walked in with a family lawyer that had never been to the Supreme Court before. And of course, we got our asses kicked, but do I still talk to the Biscards? No, I never really did. The first time I ever talked to Tom Biscardi, what I did was I gave him private information, and I asked him not to share it. It was private information that happened from an individual who asked me not to share it, but I believe Tom Biscardi, if he was telling the truth, was going to get killed by Sasquatch. So I felt it was necessary to share certain information. He immediately went on air and blathered about it. And so our Tom Biscardi and my relationship was immediately null because I asked him, I trusted him, gave him exposed a little bit of my neck, and he took a swing at it, and took it out. So, and since then he's been said a few bad things about me, and I wish him the best, But George, cloaking. I don't think they cloak. I think they're just hitting you with infrasound and stunning you. So I don't want to make this more paranormal, right? And my PhDs that I work with, no, I did not find the missing cowboy. It would the PhDs I work with, they would not continue to work with me if I made this too paranormal. So, but it doesn't mean they don't cloak. It doesn't mean I'm not wrong. And I'm going to meet with somebody this year who says the Sasquatch have taught her how to cloak. So, do you stand on MK Bobless versus God? Oh, God, I don't want to do any verses. Gosh, I can't stand verses. Dad Carol, where do I stand on MK Davis versus Bob Gimlin? I like Bob Gimlin a lot. He's a good man. I really like him, but there's a lot of sides going on. There's a lot of him versus. I don't want to do verses. I know people don't get along. So if I can't work with somebody, I just wish them the best and move forward. And maybe even perhaps someday we can forgive and work together. A lot of people, I saw somebody on here today saying, "Hey Todd, I used to think you were full of crap, and now you've made me a believer." And that's awesome. If I can convert people, that's fantastic. Watch my documentary, show people my documentary. And no, Bob Gimlin is still around, Chris, for sure. He's a hero of mine. So, and even I start talking, I have somebody who I like and I get along with, and he's telling me how Bob Gimlin screwed him over here. And I love Bob Gimlin. He's a hero of mine. And like it's so the politics of stuff are so ridiculous, right? And you're talking about hundreds of really amazing Sasquatch researchers, and a lot of them won't come on board with me because I am allegedly so controversial. I don't even know what that means. I'm controversial because I filmed Sasquatch many times, and some people think it's definitively not real, and some people think it is, and some people are on the fence. So yeah, just move forward. And I know what I know. And yeah, I saw a shape-shifting alien before. Her face shifted like a reptilian camo. Yeah, I don't do aliens. So, are aliens real? I think they are. I think there's pretty strong evidence, but I don't do that. And that's just my opinion. My opinion on aliens. I can give you my opinion on the dogman, but I could be completely wrong. I'm not going to call the kettle black, if you know what I mean. Me over here doing my paranormal research, which Sasquatch's paranormal research is real, but don't buy his over there. It's not cool. So, and it's legitimately, wholeheartedly my opinion. You want my opinion? If you really press me, I'll give it to you. But my opinion could very easily be wrong. And, move forward. Try to cooperate. Hate doesn't get us anywhere. Let's have constructive criticism. Let's have constructive conversations. If you think my stuff is fake, why? What can I do to make the video better next time? Because my first video, I didn't zoom in, and I kept the camera really steady. I didn't want shaky Sasquatch footage. So that was my first parameter, And now my parameter is to, if I do film a Sasquatch again, and actually my first parameter is just to get really close again and see what kind of interactions I can just have, mano a mano, get to know my troop again in radium. That's what I really want to do. And so that's not even on expeditions and on alone. I'm even at a point where I just don't even want to take a camera, Oh my, thank you so much, Instapixie93. Truly appreciate your research and everything you share. I truly appreciate your help and your donations. You can also, the best place to donate to me is Patreon right now, because my website is down. I really apologize for that. I have so many people, so many volunteers that work so hard on that website and keep it going, and I feel so bad, but I can only do so much. I've really fallen down, and I'll rise up again, I promise. But yeah, I fell down, and I'm having a hard time. I do have PayPal, Chris, but Patreon is just as good as PayPal right now, Chris. So yeah, that's the best place to go, and I'll do some Patreon work this week. You've impressed the best. Meldrum, Stroud, Bennego, Gimlin. Yeah, I don't like saying they're the best. They kind of are. They're pretty amazing. And let's not say the best, but they're great men. Such great men. And I feel so honored that I was ever able to work with them at all. And I'm so honored that I will be able to work with them in the future. Obviously not uh, Dr. John Bitternagel, but he's passed away. But yeah, I'm honored, and I feel like I'm a student, perhaps even a child of those great men. Those are great men. They're mentors to me and teachers. If you ever have the chance to meet uh, Bob Gimlin or Jeff Meldrum or Les Stroud, they are legitimately incredible, amazing men, and I've been so immensely fortunate. Can you imagine? I got to work with Survivor Man. He taught me stuff, and I showed him stuff about Bigfoot. I mean, if you saw the episodes, like, you know how that was just amazing. So he contacted me. He challenged me to take him out and show him a Sasquatch, and we did 4 incredible episodes. And I loved working with him. He is, how many patrons do I have? Not many, actually. I mostly just do PayPal, but my PayPal and my website's down right now. So Patreon's cool, though. And most people seem to like to donate on PayPal, but that's just not an option right now. So, and all you guys, be patient with me. Be patient. It's okay. We'll get stuff going on. I'll be here next Wednesday. I'll be doing a Saturday video. I'm not going anywhere. I'd love the questions you guys have. Let's give some likes there too, y'all. Just at 92. Pump that like button a little bit. So I have some tough times. I'm just a regular guy. It's been a hard year, and I take a lot of risks, man. You take a lot of risks. You take a lot of risks like I do. You fall down a lot. You get hurt. Things can go wrong. So no, I'm not still married, Sabrina. So but yeah, I just take a lot of risks. I take a lot of bumps, take a lot of bruises. I have a lot of injuries. I can't do this. I also have, I try to be patient, but there really has to be a sense of urgency in this discovery because it needs to get done. I'm not getting any younger. I'm in my 40s, and it's hard. My body's hurt. I have injuries that don't go away. I've hurt my lungs. I'm not coughing much today, but I have deep damage to my lungs from hiking and really getting my breath going in really cold weather. It damages your lungs. I didn't even know that. Nobody told me. I'm out there hiking my ass off, working my butt off in minus 20 and below temperatures, and I damaged my lungs permanently. So I've never smoked. I never did stuff as a firefighter. Thank you so much, Karen. I hope you have a question for me. That would be fantastic. I'd love to hear from you. But I didn't even know. Don't go hiking and don't go kick your ass in below minus 20. Here in Canada now, there's a law. If it's minus 20, you're not allowed to go snowboarding and skiing on the hills, and that's it's because of the lung damage. They don't even say that. So I will take you, Todd. Leela. Where will you take me, Leela? Hey, Michael, have you thought of doing any investigational work, or are you going to stick with your research site? That's a really good question. I think what you're precisely saying is investigation of other spots. I would love to, man. I would love to. I'd really love to do that. There's really no limit to what I'm capable of. And yeah, I'd love to go. Like the Maryland Sasquatch video lady was amazing. And I'm meeting all these people that are so cool. Whoa, Sig. I can't even Zilkani. Thank you so much for the donation. That's awesome. Really appreciate that. I wish you had a question. I'd love to hear. But yeah, I want to do all that stuff. I want to go different spots. But it thins you out when you do that. You have to understand. If somebody came and said, here's $100,000, go do some research, I would be laser focused. I would be focused on one research site. That's how you're going to get great results. And I want this discovery to move forward. But at the same time, wow. Yeah, wow, about the donations. You people are amazing. Thank you so much for that. But at the same time, I'd love to go to New Mexico. I find especially when I go out there with really cool people, and I meet trackers, and we have a bromance or a little romance of tracking and respect. Because what happens when I get out there with some cool trackers and someone who's really indigenous to the area and loves it. And indigenous man to me is just people that have lived there for a long time, grown up there. And there's always a good chemistry. We always have an immediate respect. It doesn't matter. Even hunters often, more than often, adore the hunters I know adore wildlife. They support wildlife, and so they love their quarry. And anyways, just there's so much to learn with these people. It's so amazing, and I want to do. I want to do more. Do you cover your scents? No, Dan. I'm. I don't have much for scent. I'm not a. I don't really sweat much, and I don't really. I eat super clean, so um, I don't really give off a lot of odor. But of course, I'm gonna give off enough to alert an animal. So I move based on the wind gauge, and kill to eat. Yeah, I'm not against hunters though. No, I'm not against hunting and hunters. We're a hunter gatherer species, and even trophy hunting. I don't know. I'm just uh, not against it, and I'm not sorry. Um, Trophy hunters can have their trophies. A lot of time, they're just harvesting older animals that have. I've seen a Kodiak grizzly that got harvested. He was just old. His teeth were worn down. It was his time. And you know what? Especially when they're harvesting big predators like that, I don't. Those big grizzly bears, they eat babies every year. They kill and murder and rip to shreds little baby deer, little baby elk. You know, they're little baby deer and little baby elk and baby bison, all those beautiful baby animals. They know monsters are real. Monsters hunt and kill them and tear them apart. Most of them do not survive. And to go hunt a big bear like that who's lived as a monster, and I'm not hating on anything, but it's just the biology. And human beings are hunters. I've met people. I've when you meet a hunter who's really a hunter. I mean, some people are not. Uh, some people are not very nice, and some people are just maybe a little crazy and bloodthirsty. But most of the hunters I've ever met are really awesome people, and they love their animals. And hey, Amanda, how you doing? Thank you for your patience this week. I'm so grateful for you. You're just such a big help. But yeah, so that's how I feel, you know. And as long as it can be managed in the biology properly, that's what biologists get paid for. Then you know, taking of a harvesting of an animal is we're hunter gatherers. I don't know what to say about that. Let them hunt. People love it. Some people don't, but don't. You know what? Vegans cannot take meat away from me. I'm going to always eat meat, and my family's always going to eat meat. You don't take meat away from me, and so if I'm eating meat, it's from hunters, and that's the way it is. So don't hate on anything. How old can Bigfoot get, Todd? Do they live longer than us? I don't know. I don't think so, because they have such a hard life. Sasquatch have a hard life, really hard. So I don't think they can live. It's the dentition is pretty much the end of it. You know, if I didn't, if I was wild in the wilderness, my teeth would be all busted up and rotten out right now. I brush my teeth every day. I floss, and you know, I'm in my 40s. My teeth are wearing down. I need even caps and stuff. I'm just gonna be honest with you, right? I'm wearing my teeth down, and when you're a Bigfoot, and the amount of food you're going to eat and grind your teeth down, what do you do when your teeth are all rotted out? Good luck surviving after that. You know the pain you'd be in when your teeth are all busted and rotted out. So I just think dentition alone is kind of the end of it. I don't. How could they live past 50? Sasquatch don't brush their teeth, I don't think. So, or maybe they do things, and maybe they have medicine in the biology that keeps their mouth clean. I don't know. I'm just giving my theories, doing the best I can. I could be wrong. Hey, Bigfoot Michigan Rob, first timer, welcome, sir. Bigfoot body seems like it'd be harder on their hearts. Bigfoot body seems to be hard on their hearts. Yeah, it's a good point. And they grow fast, right? And animals, like you look at dogs that grow fast, big dogs don't live nearly as long as little dogs. So, but look how long an elephant lives. So there's so much precedence in the biology. I just don't know. Yeah, certain foods might help live longer, right? So, and man, the Sasquatch, the stuff I've seen them eat, like the first time I ever met Survivor Man, when he was considering doing a show with me, when I went out to meet him, I'd actually just tracked a Sasquatch and found Sasquatch scat, and I showed it to him, and it was huge. It was enormous, like big. And he looked at it, he goes, "That's not a bear." And I go, "It is not a bear, is it?" And then we looked at we were at the Fairmont Hotel in Jasper, the Fairmont Hotel, I think. Anyways, it was a nice hotel that I was meeting him at. It was all nice, and I pull out a big chunk of Sasquatch scat and show him. He's like, "Let me have a look." I'm Survivor Man. He is Survivor Man. He knows his shit. Funny, right? He knows his shit. So, anyways, he has a look at it, and I have no explanation. There's no meat in this thing. It doesn't have any odor to it. You break it open, there's like juniper berries and leaves and stuff in it. That no bean, no. The only thing that could be as big as that is a grizzly bear. It's too big to be a grizzly bear scat. And I found it with Sasquatch tracks. Thank you very much, Matthew, for donation. And yeah, it was Sasquatch scat, and it shocked him. You just came from and I showed him tracks on my camera. You just came following a Sasquatch trackway and brought me scat. I'm like, that's how I roll, brother. That is how I roll. Are the day watchers lower in rank? between the family? Matthew? How smart are you people? Yeah, that's an excellent question. Yeah, they seem to be lower ranking individuals. I don't think the big guys can get up there. So didn't choke out a mountain lion. He broke the jaw with a rock and killed him. That sounds right. That's what I do. Even that's wilderness stuff is who I am. I'm a wilderness guy. I love the wilderness. I adore the wilderness. I study the wilderness, and Sasquatch just happen to be in it. And it's a wonderful discovery process, and I'm absolutely adoring it and loving it. But that makes sense to me, right? You can, yeah. You could have a rock, and if you bust that lower jaw on any animal, you get a hole of that thing, you break that, it's game over. Like the animal would go into shock. It'd be a tough thing to do, but yeah, you get a mountain lion pouncing on you, and you get a rock. Dude, don't do that. Don't do. Oh my gosh, be careful, people. It's much more. Just watch yourself and be cautious and move and use energy. Feel when you go along. Pay attention to your surroundings. Can you imagine people walking around the wilderness with earbuds on? You got 2 earbuds in your ears and you're walking around listening to music, and don't do that. You're not. Go be part of it. Enjoy the silence. Listen to the animals. Pay attention. Listen hard. Move cautiously. Turn around. Feel your heart loop when you feel like you're being watched. Like feel and get it. And have you smelled their smell? Yes, Jeff. There's 2 kinds of Sasquatch smell. Awesome question, Jeff. I call it the acute odor. That's like a sweet scent that's very similar to a gorilla. And I believe that at that moment, that Sasquatch is letting you know he's there, and he's excreting his scent at that moment. And then there is like a chronic smell where it's an older, it's a less sweet, sort of more of a musky stench. And I believe that's a Sasquatch that's been stinking for a long time. And maybe just a rogue male running around trying to find a troop, right? His dog is a Roddy. Yes, Allison, I love my dog. Oh, you're probably hearing in the background. I'm such an animal person. I love dogs. Thank you, Dad Carroll. Dad Carroll, I just talked to you a minute ago, man. Thanks for the donation. That's awesome. Todd has a Roddy. I love dogs, though. I was a Jack Russell breeder for a while, and I rehabbed Jack Russells. People would have a Jack Russell Terrier, and that was misbehaving, and I had 10, and I'd bring it with my Jacks and rehabilitate it into like pack society and teach it how to adhere to human rules, and then reintroduce it back to a person, to a home. And Rotties are like big Jack Russells, except Rotties are nicer than Jack Russells. Jack Russells are way meaner. People think Rotties, and if you think Rotties are big vicious dogs, they're big sucky babies. My Rottie's just a sweetheart. I just love her. Yeah, I have Dobermans. I'm a huge dog lover, so I'm an animal lover. And yeah, I try to be a love of many things, a love of society, love technology. Why did I have great success? Why did my native teacher, Musqueam, a man by the name of Two Bears, a great leader and a great spiritual man of Native and First Nations people? Thank you so much, Aaron, for your donation. Why did he choose me? And I'll tell you why. Because I love civilization. I love my people. I love the buildings. I love the bridges. I love the computers and the technology and the communication that we have. But I love the wilderness. I love it a lot. And it's that love of both worlds that really, and that cooperation that's made me successful. Do you understand the power of cooperation? It's so powerful. Competing is so counterproductive. You must understand this. Must. You got it. It's a mathematical fact. If there's a 200-pound pole in the middle and 2 people are pushing on it against each other, that thing's not going to move hardly at all. You're going to get nothing. But if 2 people combined, they'll push that thing all over the place. That's results. That's cooperation. It's such a big deal to cooperate. So into the cooperation. That's all that I'm doing right now in the winter, is finding ways to cooperate, talking to people, listening to what people have to say, looking at new videos, and learning as much as teaching. What caused you to start researching Bigfoot? I was going to prove they didn't exist. That's what everybody asked me. So I will keep fighting, Chris. Thank you very much. I'm not fighting. No, I don't want to fight. I don't want to punch nobody. I don't want to hurt nobody. I'm a peaceful guy. That looked like a good question. I missed it. Bigfoot, Michigan, Rob believes Centurions guard the perimeter around the tree structure. Huh. Bigfoot, Michigan Rodeo believes Centurions guard perimeter. I agree. Yeah. That sounds like a very interesting, likely theory. Can they see their own reflection, Todd? Whoa. Well, yeah. I think. Why wouldn't they see their own reflection? Vampires? It sounds like a good question, but it seems, yeah. with Sasquatch, I'm dealing with a highly intelligent being. They're my teachers. I was talking about Jeff Meldrum, John, my teachers, my mentors. 10 o'clock. Good night, Layla. You got us on your knees, Layla. Is that funny? I think it's a little funny. Anyways, why not gift with them? I try, George. I'm a student of theirs. Never was a sniper. I couldn't shoot somebody. I don't want to shoot somebody. I want to hurt people. I'm not very violent. I just don't have that. I don't have much of a killer instinct. I'm quite habituated. I'm not habituated. Quite civilized. I don't have much of a killer instinct, so I wouldn't be a good sniper. But I train with them as far as counter surveillance, survival, evasion, movement. That's what I train with them, and that's what I love is, being covert and hiding and ghillie suits. I love that stuff. Any future plans with Survivor Man? I sure would like that, Chris. Life is just crazy right now. Survivor Man is it's got lots of stuff going on. Survivor Man's a big celebrity. He's awesome, and he should be. He speaks good. He's like a director. He's a filmmaker. He's an artist. He's a singer, songwriter. He's a brilliant man. I'm so honored to know him. So honored. He is just a wonderful, incredible artist, filmmaker, music, plays the harmonica. What a gifted, wonderful man. I'm so honored to know him. So that's what I have to say about that. There are no polished reflections in nature. Well, I think you could see your reflection in the water. So yeah, and I've seen my reflection in the water. Sasquatch sightings are clustered around dumps and landfills around the Virginia area. I sure hope not. That's not good. Yeah, that they'd be around dumps and stuff. I'd like to think they go into the harshest habitats where people can't survive and survive well there. So, I mean, that could be true, but that would hurt my heart. They were eating garbage and stuff, right? That would be awful. Colorado forest being, how long? I'm an hour. I'm still going to be with you guys for a while. Let's get some awesome questions here. What's your next project? I'm building the Discovering Bigfoot Research Center, taking people out and having a sustained presence in my favorite location where I've filmed Sasquatch many times. And I found a way in Radium to make a sustained research center. I have enough people since I've been doing expeditions. You know what's been happening is I've been weeding through people. I've been like, hey, this guy's not weeding through people, but teaching people and testing people's mettle. Everybody talks. I can do this. I can do that. They get out there and they go face to face with a big bear, and all the talk changes. Turns like, I took a primatologist who had legit gorilla experience out in the field, and she left. She chickened out on me, and I know she had an excuse. My uncle got sick. It didn't sound legit. I really think she chickened out on me because she saw a grizzly bear scat in a grizzly bear track. She was like, that scat is bigger than my little dog. I go, yeah, that's a big bear. Well, how big do you think he is? 600 pounds, 650, sharp claws. That's a big grizzly. And the way he's moving, he's arrogant. He's owning it. He could be a problem for us because he's not afraid of people. He's walking right down. Thank you so much, Aaron, for your donation. You're awesome, dude. Give me a question there, Aaron. I'd love to talk to you. But anyway, she talked and she had the theory, and then she just got scared and she went home. And that was harsh on me because I spent a lot of money and spent a lot of time on that expedition. It was supposed to be for 7 days. And I had a lot to prove to her. And the fact that she left after 2 days really hurt my heart. So have you read up on the 1800s Wildman article? I don't think so. Maybe I have. But bears are scary, dude. They'll kill you. They'll latch on to you. They're scary stuff, like black bears especially. They're very, and here in Canada, we have a saying, if you see a hump, be a lump. That means if it's a brown bear and he's got a hump on his back, or a grizzly bears and brown bears are the same. If they're attacking you, you really can't get away. So just play dead and they'll often let you go, which is good advice. If you see black, fight back. That's because if a black bear latches on you, he's going to eat you. He's going to kill you. They're 90% carnivorous. If one of those bad boys latches on you, the only hope you have is to fight him off, and that's extremely unlikely. Bears are so powerful. They're killers. If one of those bad boys latches on you, fighting is futile. But I agree with them. You should fight. And this is what bothers me too, is they're telling you how to deal with the moose and the elk and the bears and the mountain lions, but they don't tell you about the Sasquatch, and that's not cool because they're out there. That's what upsets me about this discovery process is Fish and Wildlife. It's their job to educate the public about how to react and how to do things with Sasquatch. Keep people out of a certain area at a certain time of year. They do that with bears and mountain lions and migratory animals. Don't go in there. You're going to damage the migratory patterns. You're going to damage the bears that are trying to eat. You might get hurt because there's a ton of bears down there. The berries are running out and they might attack you. These are things that Fish and Wildlife are required to do. So, They're not doing that with Sasquatch, and that's not cool. That's their job. Amanda is saying Sasquatch research groups really doubt their eyes are self-illuminating. Well, there is no self-illuminating eyes. Not That's not right. I could see a mountain lion's eyes in pitch black. You know why? Because he's reflecting all the light. His eyes are absorbing light and pushing it out so he can see. So self-illuminating, that doesn't happen in nature, to my knowledge. I should be careful because nature has outguessed us before, but I have no knowledge of that happening. Deer, horses, uh, lots of ungulate species have incredible night vision, amazing night vision, and no, they're not self-illuminating. Even if you see a Sasquatch's eyes, they're not illuminated. They're just absorbing the light and projecting it back out. So, man, I've seen animals. They're so smart. I've seen bears like hiding their eyes because they know they're reflecting. And same thing with the Sasquatch. Sasquatch live and breathe and know. You think they don't know their eyes light up? Of course they know that. They'll. Oh yes, if you use profanity, General Cigar. Yeah, no man, no profanity. If you have a legit question, ask it to me. If you want to swear and be angry, have a good day. Go somewhere else. That's hatred. You need to go get medication or something, because I'm here and I'm answering questions. If you have a hard question, I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear it. But if you're angry and you're swearing, you can think I'm a fraud. It's your opinion. I respect that. Why do you think I'm a fraud? Even tell me what's convinced you. And usually these people that are angry like that, well, we know your sister's a special effects makeup artist. That almost makes me want to swear. That's the most retarded, ridiculous, stupid thing. Someone that needs to be medicated started the most retarded, stupid rumor that's laughable, and there's no proof of it. And now it's out there, right? So it's stupid. And most of the haters embrace that. Most of the haters will say, I'm not talking about Todd Stanton. He's a proven hoaxer. And then one of my colleagues, like Jeff Melm, will go, well, I need to hear the proof, though, because I think he's legit. He showed me a Sasquatch. And then they'll say, well, we know that his dad dated a woman who owned a fabric store. And Jeff Meldrum will give them a look at, well, thank you for sharing that information with me. You have a good day. And he leaves because that's not evidence and that didn't happen. That's a lie. And that's the stupidest thing. And that was the second reason I was proven a hoaxer, is my dad dated a woman who owned a fabric store. So my dad had to date a woman who owned a fabric store before I could get fabric. And then what? Because I could get fabric, if I go into a fabric store, I'm a hoaxer? Give me a goddamn break. That's so stupid. So have I witnessed swaying from side to side by the Sasquatch that so many people have witnessed? Really, Fish Keeper. Have I witnessed swaying from side to side? That is an awesome question. Wow, you guys. Yeah, I've been talking to my sniper colleagues about it. The swaying, though, that they did was to match the wind. Right? Because if you're a stationary object among swaying trees, you stand out. The trees are swaying and you're moving. I've seen them sway with the trees, right? I've even seen them. Imagine this is a tree, and this is a Sasquatch. I've seen them sway behind the tree. That's how amazing. I remember looking at this, going, "Am I seeing this? Is this is amazing? This is unbelievable. This is spectacular," and that's what I've shared with my colleagues about sway with the wind. You know how hard that is, though? Man, you make a mistake and you stand out. You have to be in tune with everything. You need to feel the wind blow the way the tree feels the wind and bend with it. You got to know preemptively that tree is going to do it. And yeah, I've seen them sway like that. If that was your question specifically, I've seen them do that, and that is totally amazing. Why are these people donating all this money? Because they want Sasquatch research to move forward, because they know that I can't go get gas in my truck and say, hey, I'm doing Sasquatch research. I don't have to pay for this gas, right? I call my insurance company to get special insurance to go out there in case I get killed, so I can, if I do get killed, that my family gets something, and I have to pay for that special insurance. And I can't call them and say, but I should get this insurance for free because I do Sasquatch research. When I spend time off of work, you know how many weeks I need to spend off work? And I only get 3 weeks vacation a year. I think I can't spend that time with my family. And then when I go on vacation, you know how much research costs? Man, you have no idea. You have no idea. There are expeditions I've been out, and I've gone through like $10,000 worth of cameras get wrecked, because this is legit. Simple question: do they cloak? Thank you so much. I think that's pronounced George. How about Mr. Sanchez? I like that. Sanchez, how are you, sir? Very nice to meet you. Do they cloak? No. My theory is, though, that again they can hit you with infrasound and disrupt your sensory perception. So the simple question is, in my opinion, because you're pressing me for it, I do not think they cloak at all. I've never seen in video 3 when the Sasquatch runs faster than the fastest man in the world can up through that trajectory. Why didn't he just cloak? Why didn't he just disappear? There are several occasions that a Sasquatch became aware of me. He didn't just disappear. He had to move away like a legitimate or organic being. And I even understand why they blend, man, and they have an ability to blend. Sasquatch hide from Sasquatch. You think Sasquatch don't play games with each other? You think Sasquatch don't hide from bears and other animals? But especially Sasquatch versus Sasquatch. Of course they're going to play. Of course they're going to learn from each other. And of course they're going to be even taught, right? So when you're taught and you're born and raised, that is the key too. Man, you got to understand the power of beings that have been around for tens of thousands of years of experience, and they're teaching their offspring. Deer don't really teach. Are they telepathic? Yes. Telepathy is real. We study it in science. We study it in, it's not paranormal. And they have significantly enhanced telepathy. Now you're dealing with a whole new level, right? But you can hide from telepathy. This is a big thing. Ever heard of human electromagnetic concealment? Those are real things. And infrasound does not penetrate them. It's called a hex suit. And I wore it for years. But yeah, human electromagnetic concealment. Even hunters are using it because animals can kind of feel your energy is the theory. And I support this theory. I've seen animals detect me. And there's just so many. You ever been in a spot and you felt like you were being watched and you looked and somebody was watching you? How did you know that? And almost everybody, actually rephrase, everybody I've ever talked to about that said, yes, that's happened to me. And you detected that, man. So yeah, hex suit, human electromagnetic concealment. That's not right. Human human electromagnetic concealment suit. HEC, HEC. You can look it up. I don't know if they're still around, but they were pretty cool. I don't know if the company survived. This is a long time ago. I've been around for a long time doing this stuff. But there's a little free pop for them. And what's cool is it'll hide your whole magnetic field, your whole magnetic signature, because it's got a special metallic lining. But you put it over your head and only your eyes can come out. And now the infrasound can't penetrate into your ears. At least it doesn't penetrate in a way that damages me anymore. I believe Sasquatch have hit me with infrasound with a hex suit on, with the whole shield over my head, and I believe it shielded it. So is missing 401 connected to Bigfoot? I think so. David Pilaty just doesn't say that, but I think so. He's pretty cool the way he does that. He just talks about the facts, and yeah. So electromagnetic fields, all beings have electromagnetic fields. Sharks have little gel perceptors in their nose. They can actually detect electromagnetic fields from living beings and know to bite them and attack them. A hammerhead shark with that wide head, they're like a sensor, and they'll pick up beings under the sand and bite them and eat them because they're detecting the electromagnetic fields of living beings. That is amazing. Nature is unreal, spectacular. Sharks and so many beings are absolutely amazing. Todd, I saw a Bigfoot jump down from a tree over, kick up foot branch through a tree. Cutting meant it was on point. Yeah. Hell, I've seen Sasquatch jump out of a really high tree, and they have this cool body movement they use where they'll like, their toes will touch and their legs will bend, and then they hit with their, just bump my earpiece out, and then they hit with their hands. Whoop. That's what this sounds like, because they're absorbing the ground. And even since then, since I saw a Sasquatch do that, come right out of a tree, whoop, and that sound is them absorbing, whoop, is absorbing the ground. Incredible beings. Man, I have so much respect for them. Sasquatch have a lot of chi. That is an amazing, incredible understatement, and I totally agree. Good, powerful, amazing energy. So that's the sound I look for. If I hear whoop, that's a Sasquatch sound, or a more profound sound. I think the Sasquatch call themselves boom boom. I think that's how they identify themselves. And I learned this because they'll go boom boom, and then as an example, this year a man that came out with me was starting fires with he had this huge piece of cardboard and go, and he was fanning the flames, right? And the Sasquatch saw him do this. So the Sasquatch introduced himself to this man on my expedition by going boom boom, or no, boom. What he was saying was, hi. He called this man because that's pure, that's beautiful, that's amazing. And then what he was saying was, this is boom, and they are the boom. Does that make sense? And I've seen them do that quite a few times. It just shows how brilliant and amazing they are. When this happened, This man had his encounter. Uh, Sasquatch got within like 30 yards of him, but just good behind trees where he just saw shadows. But the Sasquatch called him. He made that sound, and we are like, why is he doing that? And then I remember in the morning, he got up a little bit before me, and I was thinking like bald eagle sound, right? And I vividly remember that sound. The Sasquatch were listening. The Sasquatch were there. The Sasquatch had some respect. The man was beautiful. The man was very religious, and he came out there to have a beautiful religious experience with Sasquatch. Is that the way to put it? I mean, he was very, very God orientated, and that's wonderful. You know, he has a lot of faith, and I thought that it was beautiful. What he was doing was wonderful, and he had some good success, and I was very happy. He wanted more, you know. That was kind of funny to me. It's, dude, you just got within like when that happens and you hear the Sasquatch, and then you go over there and you find the track and the stomp in the ground and a trackway. That's it. You saw a Sasquatch, or you live interacted with the Sasquatch. You may not have seen him. You saw shadows and whatnot, but he moved off, and that's big, boy. That's really big. That was awesome. I know he wanted a lot more, and he was a little disappointed that he didn't get more, but this discovery moves slow, and you got to take every millimeter you can get. And that is a confirmed, multiple people heard that Sasquatch communicate with him, and then we all went out together and we saw heavy imprints on the ground that I couldn't even make. And yeah, so they tend to like mountain areas. I don't know. It's a good question. I called them Rocky Mountain Gigantopithecus, the Sasquatch that I do, because I am studying behaviors of Rocky Mountain individuals. But are they going to be in just flat forests? Sure. What do they do in Texas? They're in Texas. If they're not in Texas now, they were in Texas. Uh, uh, One of those Texas Rangers, an old time Texas Rangers who wrote a book on Sasquatch that's not public at all that I saw. That man knew Sasquatch. I got invited out to Texas. I've been there many times. I love Texas. My mom lived there. She was a nurse in San Antonio. So, and one of my favorite national parks in the world is the Padre Islands National Park. I adore that place. So beautiful with the sands. I don't think there's any Sasquatch there. It's just beautiful. I love nature. But yeah, and I read a book from a man, a former Texas Ranger that had passed away, and I read a book. And what did they ask me? They asked me, "Do I think Sasquatch is there? Do I think this book is legit?" And that is exactly what I looked for. When I read that book, it's all hand drawn and handwritten. And when I read that book, it's just short. I looked through it and I go, "This man knew Sasquatch." I'm like, "Oh, awesome! You're gonna come out here and do Sasquatch research?" And I'm like, "No, you do it. I don't live here. I'm not Texan. Love Texas. And you guys go do it." And they kind of got sour. They're like, "Why wouldn't you do research out here?" Well, because I'd have to start my whole life over, sir. Because I don't live in Texas. I don't have a job in Texas. This is not my home. Not well. I feel like North America is my home, but that's not specifically where I live. I'm not going to move there. Why don't you guys do it? You guys are awesome. Texas Rangers are awesome. You guys go do the research, dude. I don't think they did, but anyway, they were in Texas for sure. That man knew Sasquatch. Does IR light hurt their eyes? Infrared radiation? No. I've always joked about that. No living being has ever been known to be able, no mammal of any kind can detect infrared light. A lot of people are saying they can. I disagree with that strongly. Have I ever shined my infrared spotlight in the face of a Sasquatch? Nope, never have. But the day I shine it in the face of a Sasquatch, he goes, then I'll believe it. But I strongly don't believe it. Just based on the biology. Get better soon. Thanks, Brian. I am every day. I have tons of support and awesome people in my life. You know, the expeditions have changed my life. I'll tell you, let me tell you, the people that I've met on expedition have made great discoveries. They've taught me lessons. They've taught me how to love nature again, how to love the things that I take for granted. They've reinvigorated that in me, and I'm so grateful for that. I have so many, tens, dozens, say dozens of people that are my friends now from expedition, and I love these people. You know, they'll call me. They have bad times. I'm not calling them much when I go through bad times because there's so many, and I don't like rehatching the same situation. I have so many friends, uh, especially my expeditioners. Man, when you go out and you bleed with people, there's a special bond that grows inside of you. And Cody and Jonathan and Rich and Rob and Doug and Andy, and it just goes on and on. All these people that have taken on expedition, and I love these people. You know, the Floridans that came out this year and got hammered in the snow and worked hard. They didn't have a great expedition, and I love these people. You know, amazing. My expeditions have you expeditioners have changed my life, reinvigorated me and made me more passionate and taught me so much. And that's why I continue to do them now. Initially, it was about something else. It was about seeing how it goes. You have a theory, let's go take people out, see how the expeditions go. Let's see how good what kind of success we can generate. And the byproduct was I have new friends and I have new colleagues, and these people have enriched my life, and I'm so grateful for that. So yeah, I love the expeditioners. I just I just love these men and women. They're just so awesome. Uh, Ask what Bigfoot would Bigfoot be available to hear a dog whistle? That's a good question. I don't know. I would my heart with my opinion, I would think not, but who knows? Would they be able to hear a dog whistle? Never even tried. You have dogmen in Michigan. Respect. Never seen any evidence of a dogman, in my opinion. Can New Zealand join the cooperation, Todd? Yeah. And how do we call you? Answer, please. Well, when my website gets back up, you can send me an email there. If you make a donation to the Patreon page right now, you get a conversation with me. So, are they family orientated or clan or both? What's the difference between family or clan? What I see is I should look that up because I don't know what the difference between family or clan. To me, they're mostly like gorillas, I would think, when it comes to their family and their group organization with a dominant male, subordinate females, and young males that are growing up. Perhaps, though, I would think that the relationship between sons and fathers is quite a bit richer, or a little bit richer. But I don't know what clan. I don't know the difference. Clans like a yeah, I don't know, but I think they're just more family orientated with like gorillas is what I would say. Not like chimpanzees. I see a tremendous amount of similarities. But I like working with gorilla primatologists. They keep coming around, and I'm much more attracted to them. And yeah, so there's got to be at least 2,000 in North America, right? I think there's got to be more than that, Cindy. A lot more. What did I say in the documentary? I'm having a brain fart. But whatever I say in the documentary, I think that I said 15,000. 15,000 was my estimate based on a lot of study, a lot of researchers. And to be honest, I think that's a little conservative. I think there's more than that. So, see any rogues? I hear Cappy McCrappy. See any rogues? Nah, no, I don't know. I hear about people seeing rogues and stuff. I try to go to the family troops because that's more. They're there. Rogues are moving around. How would I ever find them? I'd need somebody to have a sighting and take me there, and then are they going to leave? It's not real. It's not good research working with a rogue Sasquatch, unless there's my nice girl. Hi. Um, Here's my Roddy we were talking about. She guards my house. She's my good girl. She takes care of my family. She's awesome. But yeah, and then maybe what do you mean by rogue? Is a rogue individual maybe a lone male that just went off and lived on his own? Man, that would be so cool, huh? Finding like just a rogue male who's lonely, and because they're group orientated, they're social individuals, and then he extends the olive branch to people. I heard stories about that, and I never got to get. Dr. Meldrum said that there are at least 50,000, 100,000 spread throughout the United States. You know what? And I would take Dr. Meldrum's opinion over mine. I try to err on the side of caution and be really conservative, right? So, but Dr. Meldrum is a brilliant genius, man, and he's been doing this longer than I have. I think he's as far as theoretical knowledge goes with Sasquatch, he's he's a top man. There's no arguing that. He's worked hard. He's done his homework. He's amazing, and yeah, I I love that man. At least 40,000 dream space. And like I try to be conservative. I'm not trying to push a paradigm too hard, right? People go 15,000. That's crazy. That's a hard pill to swallow. And so I try to say, you know, try to be conservative. So um, where are we at here? Kathy says, I'm tired of them hitting my house. Yeah, well, they try if so. Kathy says they're hitting my house. She's tired of it. I hear that quite a bit. Even talking to people on the phone, and my energy seems to be going to that place. They throw a rock at the house. Why are they hitting your house? Why are they trying to communicate with you? And they're trying to say something. So work on that. Think. We're human beings. Think. Feel your inspiration. That's the best way to go. That's how you get. That's how any great person ever started and ever got going, was they were inspired. They had a dream, or they had a thought at night in their subconscious mind, and they wrote it down, and then they pursued it, right? So if you are having success with Sasquatch, if they're throwing rocks at your house, if they're coming around, think from your heart first. If you can't get a hold of me, and it's hard sometimes, but if you can't contact me and we can't have a discussion, then use your heart. Feel your way through it. What does your heart tell you? Talk to people, get other opinions. Perhaps there's somebody that has a little more connectivity and knowledge. So, and I was really disappointed this week. There was a man who was having some amazing stuff going on with Sasquatch. He wants them off his land and he's scared. And I wanted to talk to him. And what happened was I said, hey, can I First Nations believe Sasquatch is. I disagree, Ernest. First Nations know Sasquatch are real, and so do the Native Americans. Anyway, I asked this man if he would speak to me on the phone and I could record the conversation and put it up on YouTube. And I seemed to have pushed him away because he was having some incredible stuff. The reason I wanted to do that, though, is because I'm answering the same questions. And I asked him to participate. I wasn't going to give his name or anything, but he had so many good questions and I wanted to answer them. I knew I had really good answers for them. And he just didn't want to talk publicly, and I lost that. But because he had some awesome stuff to say, I really felt just based on his email, he was likely to be having some good success. And the fact that he didn't want to speak publicly also kind of lends that. He's not out for the notoriety and all that stuff. He just wanted some information. So, and now I can't even find his email. It was like 3 weeks ago, and now his email's buried under 1,000 others. So hopefully I sent it off to my man Andy. But Kathy Thompson, contact here, bigfootencounter@gmail.com. Amanda, you are so awesome. Uh, I can't pronounce what her thing is, Cephosaurus there, but Amanda is freaking awesome. Amanda, you're amazing. Thank you for your help. Amanda's part of my cooperation. You know what she did? She showed up. She started working. She's devoted, right? She's passionate, and she helps immensely. What do I do? Gosh, it's there's no money in this. It's not, and who cares? When we're all said and done, this is all over. Are people going to ask how much money I made or what kind of house? No, they're going to ask how the research moved forward. They're going to ask, did this research get done? And it's gonna change things. This discovery, it's so important. That's why I'm doing this. This discovery is the discovery of our time. I even want to say, thanks. You're welcome. Thank you, Amanda. I even want to say this is the discovery of the millennium. It's bigger than that. It's such a big deal. What we're going to learn from Sasquatch is going to blow the whole world. It's going to change things, and they can make a difference in the world. I'm a small guy. I can't do much, but they can, and I want to facilitate this discovery. Why don't we see many Sasquatch in northeast Colorado? Too rocky? Well, I don't know. Do people not see it there? I don't know. Rocky. Well, you need abundance, right? And you know what? You know what's a big key? Oh, you want to know a little secret? They follow the elk herds. They follow the elk herds. They herd the elk. They move the elk. Elk is a food source. They're the biggest ungulate food source that lives in herds. Moose are single individuals. They don't herd up. Deer, it's the same amount of work to skin and eat a deer as it is to an elk. The anatomy is virtually identical, but you get twice as much meat out of an elk as you do a deer. Of course, they're going to eat deer and bighorn sheep, maybe. Oh, I don't think a bighorn would taste good, but the elk will live in bigger herds than deer than I've ever seen. So people out there, I'll answer you, bitter BT Tyler, in a second. But so it's the elk herds they seem to follow, and they seem to move them. The elk seem to be there like they're cows. They're wild cows. They defend their elk. They push wolves away from the elk. So I've seen tremendous evidence to support this. So I would say go after the food sources. Are there no salmon that spawn up there? Probably not. Salmon are an awesome food source. They'll move to go collect the salmon and berries, and time of year for berries. They need to eat, right? This is just part of the biology. So a rocky, harsh environment. I've seen some really crazy, harsh, rocky mountain areas, and there's no Sasquatch around. There's no food, right? There's no bugs way up in the air because there's no food, right? So, and somebody just mentioned a minute ago that about there's lots of rich people out there, and actually they could help make this discovery. He's right. And when those wealthy people contact me, which is monthly, I tell them, yes. Can you do this? Yes. I want to do this. Yes, yes, yes. I'm very cooperative. And I'll tell you that documentary, at the end of my documentary, you're welcome, Leah. The end of the documentary, I say thanks to C4, because C4 paid for that documentary. C4 made that documentary. He's a donator. That's just a wonderful, awesome man. Fantastic friend of mine. Love him to death. Wish him the best. And we have to donate to get answers? No, Shane. You don't have to donate to even be part of this cooperation, right? Some people don't have money. Some people have tight bills. If you have tight bills, if your bills are tight, do not donate to me. Do not. If you live in tremendous abundance, you're middle class or upper middle class, and $20 a month is nothing to you, then you can come donate. If you can't do that, then tell me what you can do. How can you help? What can you do to help? That's what Amanda does. Amanda helps. Amanda is my right arm. She's amazing, and I'm so grateful. And there's other people that are helping her, and I need to spend more time working on that stuff. I'm just so crazy right now. I have to live. I have a life. First Nations view of Sasquatch, friend or foe. Generally, so Sasquatch Research Group, are they friend or foe to First Nations? I see both. I see First Nations and Native Americans who, if you see a Sasquatch, someone's going to die, so they don't look at them, and they're afraid in their culture to stay away from them. And other First Nations groups or Native Americans will see them and think it's a good omen. So it's, some people, anyways. But I found that in the legit namings of Sasquatch, Winchestatunga, Savanak, Oma, Sasquatch, when they have a name for Sasquatch, it's a good, beautiful term. It's a respectful term, and I admire that a lot. Have you seen Sasquatch swim? That's a good question. Do they kill deer by throwing rocks? No. They could just run down a deer and break its neck. I've seen them chase down a deer with their just bare hands, and I've not seen it, but when you see a trackway is like a writing that somebody wrote to me. And I look at that writing and I go, oh, this Sasquatch moved here, grabbed that deer, look at the deer, urinated itself, and the neck was broken, and picked it up and threw it over his shoulder and walked away. Now he's heavier. So I see that. That's writing on the wall to me. But do they swim? I don't. They're so heavy. They're capable of anything. They're so heavy, but their lung capacity is so enormous. So that's a really good question. Big feet like flippers, maybe, but big feet in proportion to their body, not at all. Considering they can weigh as much as, around the 900-pound mark, and their feet are only, I'm 240 pounds when I'm, and I'm not a small guy. If I was a UFC fighter, I'd be a heavyweight, and considering that's just a fraction, what is that? Like a quarter of their weight, and their feet are only double the size of mine. Well, maybe it's triple. Anyways, I don't start quoting me on those things. That's real science. It needs real quantification. But I'm just sort of theorizing here out loud. But gorillas are terrible swimmers. They hate the water. They drown because they're so muscular and heavy. I think the Sasquatch are like that. So I would like heavy, dense muscle that's very like metabolic and generating heat, and very powerful, like crazy primate power. Crazy, super primate power is what I see in them. I cannot deny. I think these guys are well over twice as strong as a gorilla, and be afraid by that. Everything I see in the biology shows they're stronger. They're twice the size of a gorilla, and really more than twice as strong. That's why I have such a reverence. Don't take on a Sasquatch, man. You have no idea what you're talking about. They're fast, they're agile, they're intelligent, they move in a cooperative form, and they communicate with each other instantaneously. These are facts that I'm very aware of. You don't take on a Sasquatch troop, man. You're going to die. They're so fast. They move so quickly. They throw rocks with deadly accuracy. Throw a rock that's 20 pounds, 200 yards with deadly accuracy. It doesn't even make sense how well they throw rocks. I do. Amanda's asking me, do I think Sasquatch set on less? Yeah, that was that. Again, people are asking me, it doesn't make sense. Well, this big giant Sasquatch sat on him, he squashed him. Well, he squatted over him, put bum pressure on him like this, and stood up. That's what happened. And even I'll talk about that for a second. In my experience, I didn't even tell Les this, and this is what I think happened to him. So Les was sleeping deeply. You're pretty armbar a Sasquatch. No, you're too big, man. The physics won't work. But anyways, what they did with me is they'll walk close by you. And I think it's fun. They go, let's see, we'll walk by him, see what he does. And I keep pretending to sleep. Then they walk closer, see what he does. Then they walk over top of me, and I don't do anything. And then they walk slowly towards me, over top of me, sit on me, and believe me, you get sat on, and then, I think it's a game. It sounds like fun to me. And these are young males playing around with you, right? And Les can sleep pretty deep. I've been out with Les. I've spent nights in the wilderness with him. He can sleep pretty deep. So can I, though. I sleep pretty deeply, and we're not young men. We snore a little bit. It's probably funny, right? So you're there. And it's funny. It's funny. And I think a Sasquatch just went and sat on him. And remember, this has happened to me, and I never told Les that. And then when I saw the show, I'm like, Les, you were. And even when he talks about it, he's like, it didn't feel like a dream, man. It felt real. It felt like there was a big buttock sitting on me. They do that. So, yeah. cases cost too much money. Cases are a lot of money. Court's a lot of money. Just to even get the court going in California was thousands of dollars I had to pay to indict Fish and Wildlife, and the governor, I think, was someone we were going to indict on that charge. So it was a lot of money. So BS $5,000, Pamela. It costs a lot of money. It's hard, and then I got to get out there. You got to spend the time. People think the time and everything is just free. It costs money to fly there. It costs money for hotels. It costs money to rent the vehicle. It costs money, money, money. It's a lot, and yeah. Besides the volunteer work, my goodness, the amount of volunteer work I've put into this is I can't even. Thousands of days in the back. You understand? Thousands of days I've slept in the backcountry, and that's why I can confidently take. That's why I started to confidently take people into the wilderness. I took out Jeff Meldrum. John Benedict was a wildlife biologist, PhD. Dr. Jeff Meldrum, wildlife biologist. I took him out, and we did well. And he was always impressed with my work. I was always impressed with them. We'd learn from each other. It's been amazing. But I could take out these people, and they would say your food was impressive. The way you took care of me was impressive. Your knowledge and tracking skills were impressive. I was impressed with Mr. Standing, and that's the reference I get from these great men, that teachers of mine. I could almost cry when I think about them saying those things for me, but that's the truth, and that's what it shows. When you go out on an expedition with me, nobody says that guy was a dumbass, didn't know what he was talking about. Nobody done said that. So I've been trained by incredible mentors, and I'm so grateful. I stand on the shoulders of these great men and women that have trained me. So anyone here in the Sierra Sounds, yeah, Sierra Sounds are pretty cool. California Bigfoot, go look into the woo. My first published book is about Sasquatch. I would love to send you a copy, Todd. Well, Leslie, I'm on Instagram and I'm on Facebook. I'll be getting back to all that stuff. Be patient when you try to get a hold of me. I do Facebook message. Um, so yeah, be patient. I gotta spend a lot of time going through stuff, but I would, yeah, I'd love to read your book, and yeah. So Todd, do you know about the kid who befriended a young Sasquatch? Is that the little boy who allegedly something took care of him? Yeah, I heard about that. Very interesting. So um, just a few more answers. Todd was answering big guy's name. Wonderful volunteer. You need volunteers. Not not doing volunteers quite yet. Just because it's so, I don't know. People pay to come out. People pay their way on an expedition, so I can go out on an expedition, which is awesome. And that's where it sits right now. I think in the future I'll need volunteers and stuff, and I've had a lot of people offer it. But you know, I did Diane Fossey, did Jane Goodall take volunteers? No, she had students that came out and worked with her, and they paid for their education with her, and they paid for the research, and even those incredible, amazing women, who are my heroes, were funded by the Leakey Foundation. There would be no, we would be light years behind in guerrilla research if it wasn't for the incredible Leakey Foundation and the Leakey family that funded all that research. So amazing, awesome. I've tried to speak with the Leakey Foundation about this, but to no avail yet. And I don't think the Leakey Foundation funds even primate studies anymore. So how do you ward off mosquitoes? There's a combination of oils that would be mixed together. It worked okay. You need to keep reapplying it, but I don't know. Mosquitoes didn't bother me too much. They'd be around badly and stuff, but in there are times a year where it's pretty bad. But out in the wilderness and the ecology, you just want dragonflies to come around you. So it's just stuff you have to deal with. How many colors have you seen? Just like brown to black, I think. So I don't think there's red Sasquatch. I think they just when the light hits behind them, the brown looks red. So the female that I filmed in video 4 looks very reddish. She was not red. She was brown, like medium to dark brown, I would say she was. But she looked red because the sun was behind her, and direct sunlight was shining through her medium brown color, which made her look red. Do Sasquatch swim? I have no idea. Never seen any evidence of it. Never seen. That's, actually, there's some deductive reasoning. I've never seen Sasquatch or like lakes and stuff. I've seen them around them. I've never seen them in them. Why would they go swimming? Because one thing, they don't like water. They don't like the rain. Primates, like humans, gorillas, chimpanzees, orangutans, we don't like rain because we have hair and our hair absorbs it and it's hard to get off. We don't have layer. Fur is layered and it shucks the water off. So bears and deer and animals, they have fur, and fur is very effective. But primates, we do not have fur. We have hair, and it goes right to the skin. It's not a good feeling. So Just a couple more questions. I'll do my. I've been on for 90 minutes, having a great time with you guys. You guys are awesome. Can I trap one? No way. How do you? Yeah, that's go look at To Kill or Not to Kill a Bigfoot, a video that's here. Um, a 3-year-old boy lost. Very cool. Yeah, that was really cool. Do Sasquatch live in trees? Just the young ones, I think, go in trees, but not live in them. No, I don't think they live in them. But of course, they're going to do trees. Where's another? Joe Rogan podcast would be cool. Lots of people listen to his podcast. Yeah, I was a fan of Joe Rogan, but he's a hater of mine. He says my stuff is fake, and he says I'm a fraud. So um, Jeff Meldrum's been on Joe Rogan, and so has my friend Les Stroud. I'm just not, and you have to go to LA and stuff. I don't know. I would never be afraid to go do a show with him. I'm a big UFC fan right from the beginning, so I like Joe Rogan a lot. But he got pretty hater on me, which was not cool. He said my stuff was fake as f, which is just not even a cool thing to say. But and the way he did it and what happened in the show was pretty freaking weak. Some dude started the show with, "Hey, I can change survival forever, man." This is Joe Rogan's co-host. "Just eat wrapped up candy bars and then crap it out later, and there you go, man." I'm like, this guy has a driver's license. And of course, his opinion was my stuff is fake as f. Again, no respect to him. That's a ridiculously stupid thing to say. You don't eat a wrapped up candy bar and crap it out later. You know what Les said when he said that? Exactly what I was going to say. Les did this and go, "Why don't you just put it in your pocket, save it for later?" "No, man, it's your body. You can't." That's just ludicrous. So, anyways, these guys had a bad opinion of me. And you know what Les said on the show too, which was a huge compliment to me. Joe said to him, "What are the odds you think Todd's stuff is real?" And Les said 50-50. Boom. You think that's negative? Nah, you got to have some doubt. That's awesome. I would love to take Joe Rogan out. I challenge Joe Rogan to come out on an expedition with me. Put that to him. No problem. Let's do this. Bring it. Who am I? Right? Come on, Joe Rogan. I'll take your little ass out on an expedition. Uh, we'll have a good day, and you'll live interact with the Sasquatch. So I would love to take Joe Rogan out. Challenge accepted. So in fact, once in a while, like I'm going to pay for an expedition for somebody this year. I was going to pay for media to come out this year. If you don't know about that, I told media I would pay for them to come out. I'd pay for their expedition because I wanted some big media to come out and show them a Sasquatch, and they all refused me. I'd pay to have Joe Rogan out. Yeah, absolutely. That's how I roll, right? He's a hater. He hates me, but he's got big power, and I need power. I need cooperation to move forward. I'll take him out, and I'll change him. He'll live interact or see a Sasquatch, or nothing will happen. That's happened now, unfortunately, a couple times too. So yeah, I would take out Joe Rogan. Let's do this, man. Let's do this. Let's step in the ring. Let's get her done. That's who I am. I'm the man, boots on the ground, right? Yeah. Oh, I take guns because bears will kill you, man. Bears will hunt you and kill you. Mountain lions kill you. So I take a gun though. This is really cool. I take a gun because I want my energy to be omnipotent. I want a bear and a mountain lion to look at me and go, "That dude is confident." And I am very. If you go nose to nose with me, Mr. Bear, you're going nose to nose with my Smith & Wesson 44 Magnum Stealth Hunter. Have a good day. And you're going to lose. And now my confidence is significant, and that energy emanates out there. And that is why I don't have trouble with predators. And I just don't, because they look at me and go, that dude is too big. His power is too much. And that's why I take a gun. Because if I have bear spray, I don't feel that way. Honestly, in my heart, bear spray, who knows, right? Bear spray is just not as great a deterrent as a 44 Magnum Smith & Wesson Stealth Hunter. I feel extremely confident. I'm trained with that weapon, and I use it very well, and I love it. Do Sasquatch like music? I don't know. I think so. Well, anyways, we're going to wrap it up. I'll just take a couple more questions. Thanks for being on here, Amanda. I know it's so late. Amanda is from England. It's a Cephalosaurus. You're going to have to tell me how to pronounce that. Michael, oops. I read it wrong. Sorry, hun. Amanda's such a nice lady. I like that word, hun. The only thing that hasn't, crazy guys embedded. Okay, call out President Trump to, I'd take President Trump out and show him a Sasquatch, but I think it would scare the rest of the hair off his head. And I don't. He's also he's pretty old, doesn't look too fit. So, and then take it. Let's be honest though. You got the President of the United States, Secret Service, the helicopters. I'm not gonna see a squirrel, man. So it's fun to kind of joke, but I do want to be real, and I do like Joe Rogan would be real. Joe Rogan has hunted moose. I'm aware of. I know people that took him out to do moose hunting. He enjoys the taste of moose. I think he has a love for nature, and I would love to take him out. Thanks, Ronald. Yeah. Hey, Joseph Rodriguez, this guy's a fraud. Oh, okay, that's a nice accusation. Why do you think that? Why? Don't hate. Don't be angry. Hey, Todd, I think you're a fraud because what is my sister a special effects makeup artist? Really? Have a good day. Be real, right? Let's have a discussion. Let's talk. No accusations. If you have something to say, I'm not afraid to talk to you. You know how many times I've gone in interviews and people are like, we're going to prove you a fraud. We're going to get you on this one. You won't, because this is my life. These aren't even stories. These are my experiences. You challenge me and you take me on. You're going to realize this is real. This is really happening. You know, I go out in the wilderness and I risk my life. My little boy cries when I leave because he loves his dad and he knows what I'm up against. He knows what can happen. He knows the dangers of these things. This is real. You do not insult me. These are real. I do this. That documentary that I did is real. I really went out with Survivor, man. Do not insult me. My life is very precious to me. I need to live to be a wise old man. I have children and family that I love. I have big goals to accomplish in this lifetime. I adore my life. I respect my life. And yeah, so this is real, dude. Don't armchair quarterback me. This is not funny. My family, I risk my life and I risk the time that I spend with my son and next generation that I love this planet. I love this world. I want to go out there and do things. And so yeah, don't get like that with me because that's not cool. This is real. This is legit. So okay, everybody, one more question. How do I feel about Native Americans, facial features? You know what scared me? Oh man, that's okay, Michael. We're gonna end with that question. Such a good question. If you look, I'm gonna tell you, people, look at my video 4 footage. It's a female Sasquatch. She has like no facial hair. Look at her face. I studied like Geronimo and a lot of the old natives and their stories and people talking about them. Look at Geronimo's face compared to that female Sasquatch. I was shocked to see the similarities. Shocked. The width of the face, the nose, the cheekbones. It was shocking to me. I think I'm going to talk about that in my next documentary. But anyways, thousands of days. What actually, California Bigfoot, thousands of days and gets 3 weeks. Now I've been getting 3 weeks vacation. Before I was a full-time Sasquatch researcher. I had to quit being a full-time Sasquatch researcher because the funding ran out. And but I'll go out on weekends. I spend a lot of time. It's in the era of like between 2012 approximately to maybe 2015. Those 3 years, yeah, hundreds of days, and before that. So, anyways, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been at this for 12 years, even longer than that now. Well over a decade I've been doing this. And before I was doing Sasquatch researcher, I was going into the backcountry and studying wildlife. That's why the number, it is thousands of days, because I'm in my 40s now. And since I was, a young man, I was doing backcountry expeditions. And I knew Sasquatch wasn't real back in those days. And now I know they are real. But anyways, thank you so much, everybody. I'm so addicted to these things. I'm so sorry I'm still having a little bit of trouble with the video platform that must not be named. But I'll do some practice and work. I really appreciate your patience. Thank you so much, guys. Pamela, Penny, everybody coming on here. It's been awesome. Thanks for the thumbs up and the likes. I'm just so happy. I love doing this show. You guys are so smart. And I'll see. We'll have a Saturday video. I'm going to work on that and get a Saturday video up. And I'll be back next Wednesday. I'll be doing this show on Wednesday. My life is in a lot of chaos, and I'll be doing the Wednesday show because you guys make me feel good. I'm going to have a good night's sleep tonight because you guys are awesome. I get the hands. Thank you so much. I love doing the show. You guys are amazing. And I'll be back next Wednesday, unless I'm on expedition or unless some kind of, only unless I'm on expedition. I'll be doing the show 7:00 Mountain Time. I'm the mountain man. I live in the mountains. 6 p.m. Pacific. I believe that's 9 p.m. Eastern, the show, and I like 90 minutes. I love that. So you guys are hella awesome people to support. And yeah, I'll see y'all next week. I'm ending the stream. This is Todd Standing of Discovering Bigfoot. Thanking everybody for coming out tonight and chatting. And we'll be back next week. I look forward to it. Y'all have a wonderful week and enjoy the weekend.